Hello and welcome back to Gay by Gay. How's it going?
Hey.
Hello.
All right, so daddy issues segment number 2. Hello, Charli. You have daddy issues, don't you?
Yeah, technically, I have a dad and I have a stepdad. But,
And they're both somewhat problematic for you.
yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat very.
Very what?
Very what?
Very what?
Yeah.
All right,
English.
so who do you want to start with? Do you want to start with your stepdad or do you want to start with your actual dad?
Bio dad.
I think
Bio dad.
Bio dad would come first because then Nelson kind of.
I mean, technically he did come first.
Stop! I won the race, everyone. I win first place.
Look at you. You were competitive before you ever even got out
I know,
of the womb.
right?
So,
Great.
yeah.
So yeah, my dad kind of looks Mexican.
Pendeo.
And I do love him. I love my dad, but he hasn't been.
There.
Yeah, like he was very abusive my whole life to me, and my siblings and my mom. I mean, there's numerous times where I would watch him hit my mom.
Yeah.
And it was very bad. And I would be strong, I'd be crying, but I'd be holding my siblings like it's okay. They were too young to really understand.
Well, you're the oldest of your
Yeah.
siblings, right? So,
I would
you
be
probably kind of
yeah.
felt like that
I
responsibility
would be
was on your
shielding
shoulders.
them, yeah, all the time. There was a few times where he wouldn't hit us, but he would
Intimidate you, I
he
guess?
would there was this one time he flipped me and my sister off and told us to fuck off, and he flipped a couch. And and it was kind of close to hitting my sister, but he was kind of abusive growing up to me and my siblings.
Especially to your mom. I think
Yeah.
she bore the brunt of it. And unfortunately, as you said, your other siblings at the time were very young, but
Yeah.
you were old enough to see what was happening, to
Yeah.
understand what was happening, but young enough to not be able to do anything about it.
Exactly. I couldn't
Bad
take them.
situation. Very bad.
And I remember this one time, I don't want to say it was recent, but it was kind of recent, where my mom and my dad, they were still kind of together, and he kind of kept forcing her to come sleep with him in the bed. And she was like, no, I'm just going to stay here with Charli. I'm fine. Just leave me alone. She kept telling him to leave her alone. He wouldn't listen. And she finally got up because she had enough of him nagging on her. And they went to the bathroom. They started arguing, and then he pushed her into a big mirror, and it cut her arm open. And you can see her bone through her skin. It was really bad.
She's got a bad scar to this day.
It was really
Yeah.
bad, and I saw it, and my siblings were they're still scarred, but
Yeah.
he's not here anymore, so
There's a lot of trauma in there for you.
yeah, and I kind of had to be more strong about it, even though it kind of broke me for my siblings, because they were still really small too, so.
And, obviously to this day it still does affect you because I think no matter what, as hard as it is to admit, I think all of us want our parents there. We
Yeah.
want them to be proud of us. And I think for you, that is a bit of a sore subject, isn't it? Just knowing that your dad is around, but that you have this terrible, terrible relationship with him.
I definitely won't forgive him for anything in that department.
Well, especially because you've tried to bring it up with him before, and
Yeah.
he's kind of denied it by saying, oh, that's not what happened.
He literally, I was there. He was drunk during the time he flipped me and my sister off, and I told him this is what happened. I was like, I remember you doing this. He's like, I didn't say that. That's not what Maggie said. And I'm like Maggie was my cousin. She was also there, but I'm like, I was there. Maggie was kind of drunk too, so I saw what happened. Why are you trying to tell me what?
Yeah, why are you trying to tell me
you
what
don't even
I saw?
remember.
That's a typical abuser for you,
Yeah.
though. Oh, no, you're remembering it wrong. That's not what happened. That's not what I did.
Yeah.
That very sort of oh, I'm not going to take the blame. This
Yeah.
isn't my fault.
Exactly.
This is your fault. You're just, it's your memory of it.
Yeah.
I never did that.
And
It's,
he tries to make my mom seem like a really bad person too, because
I feel like both your mom and your dad have, because of the abuse, I
Yeah.
think, have a very toxic relationship in that
yeah.
they kind of use you and your siblings as ammunition against the other parent. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where your mom spends a lot of time talking to you about how terrible your dad is, and your dad spends a lot of time trying to convince you that your mom is
Yeah.
not a very good mother. And, I very much feel like they use you guys against each other.
I mean, I've told my dad straight up, I don't like when you talk about my mom or my mama, and he respects it, so he doesn't do it anymore. But at the beginning, he would be saying a lot of shit about my mom, and I'm just like,
Now, to be fair, your dad has come quite a far way since then.
Yeah.
He is actually trying
He is
with
trying
you really
now.
hard right now. He
Yeah.
is trying to mend some of those bridges, and I think you will always be scarred, and there will always be damage that he has done that cannot be undone. But he has been making an effort quite a bit more recently, you know.
I've been going to his house a lot more. Even with the COVID situation, he would like find ways to bring us over. So I'm really happy that he's doing that. But just overall, I think I won't ever forgive him for anything like that.
I think it's something that will always be with you.
Yeah, and I respect him for trying and everything, and I'm trying too, because I want to.
And the thing is, I've said this before, and it's not an excuse, and I don't want anyone to take it as an excuse, but I feel like some people are not meant to be parents, even though they become parents, and I feel like there are other people who are not ready to be parents at the time because they are not willing to put themselves second in their life, to put their kids first. And I feel like people can change and people do grow. And I'm not saying that what he did makes sense or was right or anything. Yeah. But what I am saying is that he is not the same person he was. And, you know, he's obviously making much more of an effort now. And he can't go back and change things. Mm-hmm. But he can change things moving forward. And that does seem to be what he is legitimately trying to do.
Like, you know? he has a lot of kids. He has, like, 6 kids. And I'm pretty sure he's trying to have another one, like, with my stepmom. But, you know, I hope not. But, yeah.
And, you know, on top of that, as much as you've had your abusive dad in your past, your bio dad, you also have a stepdad. Well, he's not really, because
he's more the guy that my mom's with.
I was going to say they're not married, so technically he's not. He's like, not adopted you or anything like that. There's no legal paperwork, so he's not really your stepdad. But for, you know, the lack of not wanting to just say, oh, my mom's boyfriend, it's easier to just say my stepdad because, you know, it gives him a moniker.
My mom and my dad.
Your mom and your stepdad.
My mom and my stepdad. They've I don't want to say they've been together a long time, but they kind of have, because they were together when they were like 14, 15.
Yeah. They were high school sweethearts who kind of drifted apart and then eventually drifted back together.
They came back to each other, which is really interesting. But I can tell that they're made for each other. And like if you see them together, you would know. And it makes me happy because it makes my mom happy, but I hate him. But anyways.
That's a bit of, that's kind of the crux of the issue, right? Where,
like, and I'll be honest, he does stuff for me. He does a lot for me and my siblings, but he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And because there was this one time, I guess the first year my mom and Nelson were together, they were like drinking like a lot. And I was kind of I was going to dance at that point still. So I was like, whatever, I'll just go to dance. Like, I don't need you guys. And I guess there was this one time I came home after dance, and my mom wasn't home, so I was like, okay, so I'll just wait up for her. And maybe at like 2 a.m. she came home, and she was like all drunk, and I noticed she had scars on her face, and I was like, what happened? Did you fall? She's like, no, me and Nelson got into a fight. I'm like, he hit you? She's like, yeah. And I was like,
and
I almost killed that guy.
After your history with your dad, that was probably very hard to see.
Like, your
mom getting into a new relationship and seeing what looks like the exact same pattern of behavior happening all over again. I think that must have disturbed you quite a bit.
Like, how can my mom go into a new relationship with him, and he knows what he did to her, everything he did to her, and he just did that. And they quit drinking after that, which
I mean, that's a good thing. It was the catalyst for change, which, you know.
But you can kind of tell now that he misses it and he wants to do it.
I think it's hard. Any addiction, as much as you can beat an addiction, it's a lifelong addiction. Yeah. And I think that, you know, people go, well, once you get clean, you're fine. And it's like, no, that's not really how it is. It is a fight that you will fight for the rest of your life. It is not as easy as, you know, oh, I'm over it now. No. Addiction is hard.
But I respect him for changing for my mom.
Yeah.
Because I did not like that he did that at all.
I doubt that your mom liked it very much either.
No. Yeah. And there was this one time he accused my mom of cheating on him with my gay cousin.
Yeah, that was...
And she kicked him out right after that. She's like told me the next morning before school. She's like, so yeah, Nelson's going to be leaving today. I'm like, really? Where? She's like, he accused me of cheating on him with Brennan. I'm like, what?
Yeah, very, very strange accusation.
I'm like, okay, that's weird.
I think you were very much struggling with Nelson, especially in the beginning of his relationship with your mom. I think really what kind of started to bring your whole family together was a surprise announcement that your mom was pregnant. Whoops. Didn't mean for that to happen.
To be honest, I was kind of mean to them when they were when she was pregnant with her. I said, if the baby comes out ugly, I'm going to laugh.
Yeah, you were not ready for this kid. You did not want,
I said I'm not happy that, and I said when she gets older, when he or she gets older, I'm going to tell her that Nelson went to jail. I'm going to tell her all this stuff that went down. And they're like...
And I think a lot of that was your bitterness against Nelson.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the new baby coming into the picture. It had nothing to do with, like, sibling jealousy where it's like, oh, mom's having another baby. It had nothing to do with the child. It had everything to do with the fact that it was Nelson's child.
Well, I remember you being so really offended because he has all these other kids.
I was
that he's never taken care of.
And it makes me mad still to this day that he tries and parents me and my siblings. Like, I understand he's there, but
at the same
you don't
time,
get to tell me what to do. It's my mom's decision. Dad, when he tells me, like, I can hear him. When I'll talk to my mom, I'll be talking straightforward to my mom, and then I'll leave because she'll make me mad or something. And he'll be like, yeah, she just needs to cool it. She doesn't get to say what goes around here. And I'm like, you don't get to say what goes around here.
It's a very strained relationship, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But once your little baby sister was born, everything changed for you.
When I kind of watched her come out. Probably never having kids, but
Yeah, I feel like that's something that you have to be prepared for before you view it.
Because I literally came in and I was like,
there's a baby.
baby. Mom. No, Mom.
Well, it doesn't help that your mom's birth was a very hard one. Your mom actually was quite close to not making it.
My mom almost died.
It was a very bad situation. She lost a lot of blood.
She lost almost 3 liters of blood.
It was a very serious situation. It was a very tense situation.
Yeah, and of course I was the only woman family figure with her for like the first 2 hours of her life when she came out. So I have like this really deep connection
with your little sibling. Yeah.
And me and Nelson were with her the whole time.
We've nicknamed the baby Parsley.
Parsley.
There's a long story behind that. Yeah. But yes, little Parsley.
Little Parsley.
You absolutely adore this baby.
I love Presley with my whole entire heart. My life revolves around Presley, Dance, and my best friend.
But, you were so set and ready to hate this child. Boy, girl, didn't matter. Because it was Nelson's spawn, you were ready to hate this child. And yet she came out, and she has just been the apple of your eye ever since.
Like, I talk about her all the time. And I'm just like, Presley. And they're, like, looking at me, Abby and Aaliyah. They're like, I know you love her. I'm like, Presley.
She's really cute.
She's a cute kid.
Cute.
Her eyelashes are so long. She just has, like, these little doe cheeks and these little button eyes. Oh.
She reminds me of, like, the little Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah.
Like, she reminds me of, like, the little
baby mullet
girl,
hair.
little baby girl version of, like, the Pillsbury Doughboy. She's like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
When she came out, she had a full head of hair. Like, no bald spot. She has lots of hair.
And I know, very much we call her the dance baby because her, your mom brought her in, a week or two after she was born to see us. And, luckily it was right before COVID and everything, so we weren't too concerned at the time. But I just remember, we all took turns holding the baby, and she's all of our baby,
Yeah, we all love her.
We are all very attached to Presley.
We all talk about her lots and just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the cutest thing about Presley is that she copies you in almost everything she does. Like, she watches you practice, she watches you dance.
Like, she's only 10, she literally turned 10 months, like, yesterday, and she's stretching and, like, trying to do headstands. She copies crazy.
You. She adores you. But going back to the issue with Nelson, has Presley brought you closer with Nelson?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially like the first 2 hours of her life when I couldn't go see my mom in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because when she almost died. Me and Nelson, we were together the whole time. And it was... I was dreading it. But, like, I was like, Presley, baby.
It's kind of special.
Yeah.
Right?
So it was like... He would, like, ask me, can you go get this for her? Do you want to watch her for a second? I'm like, yeah. And so me and Nelson definitely got really close during that. We shared a lot of laughs and cries together.
It was a tense situation for everybody, and I think that in a way it did kind of bond you guys together. It's something that both of you will always remember. It was a very tense time, it was a very scary time, and that sort of thing leaves a mark. It leaves you feeling impacted.
Like, I remember just holding my cousin. We thought like my mom was gonna die, and she kept telling me it was okay. It was really bad.
It's a hard situation for sure.
Yeah.
So do you find that Nelson himself, do you find that he has changed after the birth of Presley, or did things just kind of go back to the way they were before?
Depends, because he kind of has like his off days, which is okay. Everyone has off days.
Everyone has off days, yeah.
But like, there's some days where he just gets mad for nothing.
He's a bigger dick than other days.
Oh my god, he's a bigger dick than his own.
We are not going to talk about anyone's baby dick, please. We are not discussing this.
Oh my God. But, like, there's times where I'll ask him a simple question like, oh, what are you making for supper? And he'll be like, oh, why are you getting so mad? Like, I'm making supper. Like, why you gotta be so ungrateful? And I'm like,
jeez, man,
dude,
I was just asking.
Dude, I was just asking a question.
It's very tough because you're actually vegetarian.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that I don't remember if we mentioned during your intro. No. But you are a vegetarian, and so obviously you live in a house with how...
all of them eat meat.
Yeah, because you've got, what,
I mean, I
5
usually eat
siblings?
my own food, so
you've got
fine.
4 siblings.
I have 4, yeah.
Yeah, 4 siblings. 2 sisters, 2 brothers, and then Nelson and your mom.
And then his other kids.
And then his other kids are in the house as well.
He usually has 3 other kids of his.
So, you know, we're talking, with you included, we're talking there's 5 siblings plus 3 siblings. We're talking 8 kids under, you know,
like
you're
3
the
adults.
I was going to say, you're the you're the oldest of the kids.
Me and Kaden are the oldest.
Yeah, so, you know, we're all talking about 8 kids under the age of 15.
Exactly.
And, you know, 3 adults.
Yeah. So.
There's 11 people in your house, and you are the only one who does not eat meat.
Yeah. And I can understand, like, being stressed.
This is a bit of a stress because, you know, they're trying to feed all the other kids, and with your dietary restrictions, there's a little bit of stress, and I know that, you know, that sort of thing causes a little bit of tension in your house.
And it sounds really weird, even though Nelson would say stuff like that to me. Nelson takes more account into me being vegetarian than my mom does. He
is actually more aware of it.
He buys, like, even my protein, like, I have to start eating a lot more protein for, like, dance and stuff, and I'm trying to gain more muscle. And he, like, buys me, like, protein bars. He's like, you need to do this is better for you, you eat this, and he'll tell me to eat these things. My mom doesn't even know.
And that's exactly it. So in a way, you know, as much as, you know, he's kind of always been a useless kind of piece of shit before, he is changing right before our very eyes. He is becoming a much more responsible person. He is becoming... I don't think you will ever call him dad.
No.
I think even calling him stepdad will always make you a little bit uncomfortable, you know, even just when trying to describe him to others. Yeah. But that being said, he is absolutely trying.
He's Nelson.
And, you know, some days he's better than others, but, you know, as I said, he is trying. He really is. He's trying to do his best, and, you know, I think in some cases that's all you can really ask for. I mean, take a look. Aaliyah's got a dad who's in the house and doesn't try at all.
Yeah.
At least you've got, you know, now your biological dad is trying to have an impact on your life. You know, he wants to be there for you. He's trying to change. And Nelson is trying to change both for you and for your mom and for the little baby Presley.
Yeah.
So the men in your life, you know, have kind of been awful to you before, and so you do carry these issues with you. But they are trying to change.
They're trying now, so
and now it's going to be interesting seeing, you know, how that's going to change you moving forward, knowing that you have daddy issues from when you were younger, but maybe there's still time for you to...
Getting better, And I'm still young now.
to heal from it,
So I think it will be okay, but...
It'll take time.
Yeah, and I was really young when all this stuff happened, so...
Yeah.
But it will take time to heal and everything, and I'll be okay.
Is there anything you would tell Presley in advice about her relationship with her dad?
Presley's really close with her dad, actually.
Yeah. With Nelson,
like, I think, again, with my mom almost dying and being with her for the first 2 hours of her life, like, when she cries, she'll normally go to my mom, but, like, when it's, like, a deep cry, she'll go to her dad.
Yeah.
And
so
usually...
already, I would say that is much more than he ever gave to... his previous kids.
And I don't want to say because he is there for all his kids, but he likes to play games, like video games. And
typical man.
In the summer, Presley fell down the stairs.
She had a guardian angel watching out for her, though, because she took a tumble, and she had nothing more than a light bump.
If you see my stairs, they're, like, super steep, and they're metal and wood. There's no carpet or anything on them. They're metal and wood. And she fell down the whole flight of stairs. And the only thing she had was a scratch on her shoulder, and I think a bruise on her head. But that was it. And she was fine.
That kid has a guardian angel watching out for her.
I think my mom almost died from that more than Presley almost did.
Probably had a heart attack.
I believe it.
Yeah, so... And it was his fault because my mom was cleaning, like
and he wasn't watching Presley, and
he was
fell.
supposed to be, and she fell down the stairs. So that I carry that with me forever. And it's his fault. I don't care. But
on the whole, he's there for Presley, and you know I think that speaks volumes.
He's getting better now. Yeah. So it's better.
So hopefully things will kind of continue in that direction, and we'll have to stay updated on how things are going.
Yeah, we need daddy updates.
Daddy updates. All right, so that brings us to the end of Charli's daddy issues, and in the next episode, we'll finally start to unbury all of my...
Abby!
There's a joke in there that you'll find out next time. So, we will see you in the next episode.
Keep it gay by gay, guys.
Bye.
Bye.